Imagine spending literally decades building your career, your business, your whole legacy. You've curated your public image meticulously, right? But here's the kicker. It turns out the ultimate arbiter of your professional identity isn't you. It isn't your colleagues or even the press. It's a machine, a sprawling, invisible, algorithmic machine that operates 24/7, silently judging, sorting, and ultimately defining who you are to the rest of the world. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the architectures of online reputation and search ecosystems. So let's just dive right into this. Who actually controls your professional reputation today? Well, if you think it's your resume, your PR team, or maybe the bio on your company website, you're kind of operating in the past. Your modern legacy is entirely at the mercy of how search engine algorithms interpret billions of fragmented data points. And look, if you don't understand how this system works, you've essentially already surrendered control of your own narrative. What's truly fascinating to me is how clinical and mathematical this whole thing actually is. Let's look at the definition. Online reputation is the structured collection of signals, mentions, and behavioral data. In this system, you are an entity. That's right, your identity has been completely transformed into data. And reputation management, well, that's just the systematic organization and influence of these signals across index content and search engine results pages, which we usually call SERPs. Okay, to help you take back control, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The invisible digital identity. 2. Inside the search ecosystem. 3. The power of perception. 4. Quantifying digital trust. And 5. The personal reputation audit. We'll move fast, but I promise by the end of this, you'll see your digital footprint in a completely new light. All right, let's jump into section 1. The invisible digital identity. Uncovering the ecosystem. There's a massive, fundamental shift happening right now. We're moving away from the outdated concept of a static identity. A single controlled document like a bio or a LinkedIn page. And we're entering the era of the structured semantic system. Simply put, search ecosystems don't care about your static brochure. Your reputation is now an aggregated perception. It's built from distributed signals, scattered content, and algorithmically interpreted human behavior. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that absolutely requires active, systematic management, not just a one-off update every few years. Moving right along to section 2, inside the search ecosystem. How algorithms construct you. Consider this quote for a second. Reputation within search ecosystems does not exist as a single document. It exists as a network of interconnected signals. So the absolute crucial point here is that every single interaction across knowledge graphs, indexed repositories, and search results is continuously building and shifting the structured identity. You aren't just a page anymore. You are a vast, interconnected semantic map. Let's see how this actually builds algorithmically. Search engines construct your reputation using these 5 sequential mechanisms. First, they analyze content authority. Basically, are you appearing in high-quality contexts? Second, they map entity relationships, connecting your name to specific topics. Third, they evaluate contextual relevance to match what a user is actually searching for. Fourth, they aggregate link authority to see who actually trusts you. And finally, they stabilize ranking patterns by tracking how consistently you are reinforced across multiple sources. Literally, this is the exact machinery processing your identity right now. And this is exactly why your digital footprint matters immensely. It's not just about having a website, right? The size, diversity, and consistency of your footprint directly dictate your overall visibility. Why is that? Because a broader footprint creates more semantic entry points into search results. Think of it like a giant puzzle. Every positive, authoritative trace you accumulate across multiple domains expands the likelihood of your entity being discovered and ranked. Without diversity and consistency, well, your visibility simply collapses. This brings us to section 3, the power of perception, when human behavior becomes data. Now, engagement metrics are much more than just vanity numbers. Search engines actively watch how human beings interact with content about you. They track click patterns, how long someone dwells on a page, the depth of their interaction. These are measurable behavioral signals. Search systems interpret this human engagement directly as an indicator of perceived authority and relevance. Essentially, it validates their semantic models of who you actually are. The reality of these metrics is honestly pretty stark. High interaction density, meaning when people frequently click and engage with positive content about you, that actively strengthens your perceived authority in the algorithm. But weak engagement? That drastically reduces the search engine's ranking confidence. If people ignore the content, the algorithm buries it. No way around it. Human behavior literally dictates your search engine positioning.
And hey, it's not just about clicks either. It's actually about emotion. Search systems use incredibly complex sentiment analysis to evaluate linguistic tone and emotional framing in reviews and mentions. They take unstructured, messy human opinions and slice them into rigid categories: positive, neutral, and negative. This converts raw human emotion into rigid, structured reputation signals that directly influence how you appear in knowledge panels and search results.
So, the main takeaway here is this: consistent sentiment reinforces your credibility, but conflicting signals, well, they create what search engines call semantic ambiguity. If the algorithm sees contradictory emotional data about you, it gets confused. And when algorithms get confused, they rely heavily on whoever has the highest link authority. Unfortunately, that might just be a highly authoritative negative review site. You absolutely cannot afford semantic ambiguity.
All right, Section 4, quantifying digital trust, the statistics you must know.
Okay, there are 13 absolutely crucial statistics every professional must actively monitor. Notice how they're grouped. We've got visibility metrics like impressions and branded search, then engagement metrics like dwell time, authority markers like backlinks and sentiment polarity, and finally stability indicators measuring volatility and cross-platform consistency. You don't need to memorize the whole shebang right now, but understand this: search systems use statistical patterns across these exact metrics to evaluate your reliability and ultimately dictate your ranking. Look, this reputation isn't built in a day. The indexing cycle is continuous. First, content is indexed, meaning the information is stored. Second, algorithms continuously re-index that content to update its relevance and authority. And third, through a repeated reinforcement across authoritative sources, you finally achieve long-term stability. This creates a durable semantic footprint. But beware, if indexing patterns fluctuate, your reputation signals fragment. Consistency over time is absolutely everything. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the personal reputation audit, taking back control. So, what is a personal reputation audit? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a structured evaluation process, because let's face it, you can't fix what you haven't measured. This audit is the critical first step to establishing a baseline understanding of what information actually defines your entity within search results right now. It reveals the dominant narratives, the content sources, and exactly how the algorithms currently perceive you. Here are the 5 non-negotiable checkpoints for your audit. 1. Inspect your SERP entity mapping. Who and what sources define you on page 1? 2. Evaluate your indexed content distribution across different domains. 3. Analyze your sentiment structure in reviews and mentions. 4. Review your backlink authority. Who is actually reinforcing your credibility? And 5, assess content recency signals. Basically, how fresh is the data defending your name? Systematically evaluating these 5 points is exactly how you secure your digital identity. Which leaves us with one final, undeniable truth. If you aren't managing your structured digital identity, an algorithm is managing it for you. And trust me, algorithms have absolutely no empathy for your career, your family, or your legacy. It is time to take control. You can start your professional reputation audit today by visiting clearmyname.org. Don't let invisible code dictate your life's work. The real question is, will you define your own entity, or will you let the machine do it for you? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.